Your Excellency, sir, with your kind permission, I now invite the Clerk of the National Assembly to present the vellum copies of the bill for your consideration and assent.
Excellency, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, I act under the instructions of the Speaker of the National Assembly to place before you today 6 vellum copies of bills for your assent. The first one, Your Excellency, being the Supplementary Appropriations Bill 2026. Your Excellency, this bill was introduced in the National Assembly by the distinguished member for Alego Usonga, the Honorable Samuel Atandi, having emanated from the Cabinet. 23rd, Your Excellency. Excellency, this is it's a modest bill. The National Treasury advised the House to make modest changes to the budget for the financial year, which is ending next week on Tuesday, by adding additional capital of only 18 billion to certain areas which had deficiency and which have the capacity to absorb within the next 7 days. Excellency, these areas include monies for payment for pending bills, for the administration of the national exams, which were held last year and others this year, Your Excellency. And therefore, the Ministry of Education will receive 1.5 billion towards that exercise. Your Excellency, there is also funds for payment of pending bills for Mwache Dam, amounting to 2.3 billion, again towards payment of pending bills for the construction of that facility. The bill, Your Excellency, also has an amount of money going towards a Nyota program, particularly for our youth. Again, the National Treasury has divided that money between the Ministry of Youth Affairs and one other ministry, Your Excellency, towards a Nyota program for implementation. SMEs. Ministry of SMEs, Your Excellency, towards implementation of Nyota program and for absorption by Tuesday next week, Your Excellency. There is also a small amount, Your Excellency, going to the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation towards its international obligation with respect to the ongoing FIFA World Cup and other rights, Your Excellency. There is also a modest amount, Your Excellency, going towards security sector, Your Excellency, to bridge the gap for the few days that are remaining before the end of this financial year. The second bill, Your Excellency, is the Appropriations Bill for the year 2026-2027. This bill, Your Excellency, was also introduced by the distinguished member for Alego Usonga on behalf of the Budget and Appropriations Committee of the National Assembly. They held extensive public participation within and outside the House during consideration of the estimates. Your Excellency, a number of changes have been effected by the committee following those public participation exercise. This bill also actualizes the Division of Revenue Act, which you assented to only a few days ago, and therefore it divides money amongst the various state departments for the national government, and also provides for funds for the judiciary, which is now currently funded at 30.8 billion, which has gradually risen from 16 billion or thereabout in the year 2022 to the current 30.8 billion in the financial year starting Wednesday next week. There is also funds, Your Excellency, for the legislature, which has also been funded to a tune of 50 billion for the 4 votes of Parliament. Your Excellency, amongst the biggest gainers in the appropriation for the year 2026-2027 is the Ministry of Education and all the sectors under the State Department for Education, including the Teacher Service Commission, Your Excellency. The third bill this evening, Your Excellency, to receive your assent is the Finance Bill 2026. This bill, Your Excellency, was introduced in the House as required under the PFM Act. It was brought initially as a draft by the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury, who is former minority leader in the National Assembly, Your Excellency. When he came to read the budget, when he came as required by the Constitution, he brought it to the House by 30th of April. Thereafter, it was published before the House went on recess. That recess period, Your Excellency, allowed the House to undertake extensive public participation on the bill. The Committee on Finance, led by the distinguished member for Molo, the Honorable Kuria Kimani, undertook extensive public participation in 13 counties. We also received over 100,000 written memoranda from different individuals, corporate entities, and our business community, Your Excellency, and other individuals. The committee also engaged severally a number of entities for a full 2 weeks, Your Excellency, while going through the bill. The bill initially had 56 clauses. By now it has 54 clauses, Your Excellency. We lost 2 and a few others were introduced along the way.
How many again did you say the clauses were?
Initially it had 56 clauses when it was brought by the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury. Today it has 54 clauses.
We had some member of Parliament saying there was a clause 169. Was that true?
That, Your Excellency, may not be the finance bill for 2026, Your Excellency. Probably another piece of legislation. So, Your Excellency, after extensive public participation, the committee also initiated a number of changes to this bill, which, Your Excellency, you have been briefed about, and we request that you brief the nation about at the appropriate time. But allow me, Honorable Your Excellency, just to mention 2 aspects of it. One of them is that there is no mobile money tax introduced, because as National Assembly, we took a lot of time explaining that to the public, because those provisions are not contained in this bill at all. Your Excellency, there are also no provisions amending any land laws in this bill, as was initially said in the public, particularly in the social media. And the committee also took time to explain that to the public. So that, Your Excellency, there is no single proposal to amend land laws or to introduce any levy relating to land under the Finance Bill 2026. Your Excellency, conversely, this bill attempts, and in many ways indeed does, introduce efficient ways of tax administration as opposed to myriad of new taxes. The bill proposes ways in which the Kenya Revenue Authority will make it easy for them to collect tax, Your Excellency. The last bill to get your assent, Your Excellency, is a bill called Food and Feed Control and Coordination Bill. This bill, Your Excellency, emanated from the Cabinet in the year 2023. It was introduced in the House by the leader of the majority party, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, was passed by the House towards the end of 2023, sent to the Senate.
Did you say that? Did you say something about land taxes?
Your Excellency, yes, the finance bill has not introduced any tax
on freehold land and all that.
On any land, whether freehold or leasehold, Your Excellency. As
I thought I had some character in some rally saying there was introduction of. Was that part of this bill or another one?
Your Excellency, the finance bill amends the following pieces of statutes: the VAT Act, Excise Duty Act, Miscellaneous Fees and Levies Act, Stamp Duty Act, Affordable Housing Act, and does not in any way amend any law relating to land in the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency. It also amends the Income Tax Act, Your Excellency. That's a finance bill. This particular one, Your Excellency, relating to food and feed safety, is intended to control and manage how food is handled for human beings, or human consumption, and also animal consumption in accordance with international standards. When the two houses disagreed, the speakers of both houses appointed a mediation committee chaired by the distinguished member for Tigania West, the Honorable John Kanyuithia Mutunga, and the senator for Bungoma, the Honorable Senator David Wakoli. The mediation committee agreed on a version which was presented to both houses, Your Excellency, and the houses agreed with that version and passed it. It's a bill concerning counties, Your Excellency, and therefore it had to go to both houses. Your Excellency, to give effect to the Supplementary Appropriation Bill and Appropriation Bill, may I request Your Excellency to now also assent, to now also sign the Treasury warrants so as to authorize the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury, Your Excellency, to make the necessary drawings from the consolidated fund so that the money can be withdrawn from the fund commencing tomorrow upon publication of the bill, Supplementary Appropriation Bill, into Act, so that the entities listed there can therefore benefit from the 18.2 billion which is contained in the Supplementary Appropriation Bill, which will become an Act of Parliament following your assent and publication into law. There are 4 copies for each, Your Excellency, for the supplementary appropriations and for the main appropriations. Excellency, we will be requesting our Attorney General to, with your consent, to gazette the supplementary appropriation immediately following the assent so that it can come into force. And then thereafter the main appropriations at the beginning, just before the beginning of the next financial year, is Wednesday next week.
Thank you.
Excellency, I seek your consent to resign my commission for the day at this point.
Thank you very much. With Your Excellency's assent and the sacred trust it carries, the implementation of the administration's plan gains renewed impetus. Your Excellency, sir, I now invite you to hand over the copies of the acts to His Excellency the Deputy President, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury for implementation, the Honorable Attorney General for publication into law, and the Principal Secretaries present for implementation. Your Excellency may also graciously present ceremonial copies of the acts to the Speaker of the National Assembly, the leaders of the majority party in both houses of Parliament, and other members of Parliament present, and all esteemed state officials in attendance. Your Excellency will unveil and display an open ceremonial copy of the acts, while other state officials shall bear closed copies. May I now kindly request all members of the Executive and Parliament to resume their seats. And whilst remaining standing, join me in welcoming His Excellency the President.
Thank you very much. Please let's take our seats. Ladies and gentlemen,